Hey, what's up, my great vibers? This is your guy, Barry, aka Barry Ishmael. Peace, my great vibers. My great vibers, it's been about 2 months since I put out a video. Unfortunately, during that time, on April 5th, my mother has transitioned. As we are transitioning in all the stuff that's taking place in this world, this ratchet world, I should say. And during that time, it's been a lot of travel back and forth, but I also had to respect my mother's transition and that energy. I also had to respect my energy because when I do bring content, I want to make sure I'm in the right frame of mind and focus to be able to do that. And also, when I get on YouTube, I don't get on here just for the views. I get on here if I feel I have a purpose and a meaning, and if I can bring good content. And that's one that's important to me. If I have a great content to bring at the right time, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the time to definitely do that, my great vibers. So with that, I'm going to now bring you the proper message at the proper time. And what that is, my great vibers, I would like to introduce the topic of there is no greater virus than fear. We need to understand that, my great vibers. There is no greater virus than fear. Whether you catch this virus that's out here or not, some have indeed caught the energy of this virus because they are living in fear of catching something that, we deal with every year, a bad flu season, but when you get that energy of fear, it interferes with you energetically and spiritually. And now you've caught the virus, basically, because it's caught you. It's caught your mind. They got you. You don't want that. You don't want that. And you're going through all of this and don't even have the physical symptoms of this virus. But one of the first things, I want to take a look at is the social distancing. I know for myself, I began social distancing about 3 years ago, actually. But when I did it, it was for a purpose, and it was to stay away from certain people, places, and things. That's how I utilize social distancing to protect my energy as I started growing spiritually and in other ways, just realizing things about life. So social distancing for me was you want to stay at a certain places, stay away from certain people and certain things. They've now taken social distancing and basically turned it into you having fear of another person. You're going down the grocery aisle, you see another person, you're turning around. You're scared to be around people without wearing a mask. And they've taken the social distancing and just reversed it to something really, really negative where you now have humans afraid of other humans. And we have to sit back and think about that. When you start and are able to gain control like that, you become the thought police because now you can control people's perceptions. And you can do that by the number one thing that's always been done for generations when someone wants to control you with fear. We can't let that happen. We must overcome this. Let that marinate. You cannot start being afraid to be around other people, including your family, my great vibers. So now they've given you the virus of fear. Now you have the virus of disregarding your rights. Now you have the virus of doubt. Now you have the virus of not being able to control your perception or understand your perception. Basically, you have the virus of no perception. They have created an instability within some with your permission because of the instability that has been created in this world. Now it's being created with you with the fear. They want to keep you at a low vibration of instability in this ratchet world. And we have to overcome that. We have to focus and realize there is no greater virus than fear. My great vibers, all I can say is please put some respect on your fear. Put some respect on your perception. Those things are important. You have to. That keeps your reasoning going right. You'll be able to see and discern things better. But if you're in fear, you can't. You have no real perception because they now control it through fear. But however, you have to be mindful. There is a virus out there, a little stronger than the average flu. But the only difference is, great virus is, normally 60,000 people die a year of different influenza virus, but they don't broadcast it like they do now. They don't broadcast it. So if they did, we would be in that same state of panic, but we deal with it every day when they wasn't broadcasting that, telling us that. You still be out in public doing whatever and doing the things you normally do to try to protect yourself from diseases and germs anyway. My great vibers, that same virus that comes out, they tell you about it. Now it's a virus out, and they're telling you this virus is killing people. You just have to be mindful. You definitely want to take precautions. That's something we all need to do on many levels all the time. But when it's being used and still fearing you, that's when you need to think twice. You have to keep control of your mind. You can't let them get control of your mind or use it with fear. So you have to put some respect on your fear. Their television has been exposed in 2020. Their television, basically, my great viber, they put out the truth. They also put out lies, a lot of lies. But the truth they put out there goes over your head if you don't catch it. Universal law requires that these individuals in charge do that, although it's a disguise to the closed eyes and mind. So you're not going to catch it if you just don't catch it. But they put it out there. They did their part of the contract. These puppet politicians and unseen hands that are behind the Democrats and the Republicans use fear to control your free will. They use fear to control your free will. And they can do that after they've given universal disclosure. But once things have been disclosed, whether it's social media, whether it's television, their media they use, it's up for you. When they put out that truth or lie, it's now your responsibility to discern it, to discern that truth and lie, my great vibers. So what I encourage you to do is stay away from fear and anger. Focus on joy, focus on love, focus on reason, focus on neutrality. This will keep you from jumping on ships that are sinking. Nobody never expected the Titanic to sink, but it sank. Nobody never expected Noah's Ark to pull off, but it pulled off without her. My great vibers, that stuff is no coincidence. Pay attention, but it's your responsibility, nobody else's. There's no right or wrong. It's just about how you discern and see things for how they are. But when they're controlling your perception through the media, which they've always done, when you have the same media being played across the nation in every city and state the same way, the same scripts, that's the issue. Every different region should have their own brand of news, but that's not the case. That's a form of thought police, mind control, however you want to put it, but it's been here for decades on top of decades on top of decades. It's just now coming to light. Many of these people have been using people, us, the American citizens, the people, as their pawns, as their cash cows. They're now being held responsible for violating universal law. And the bottom line is their time is up. Their time is up. Just look at the officials and how they're going back and forth. They're infighting with each other. They are not trying to go down alone. So they're pulling out everything in their playbook to keep us blind, keep us in fear, because they have lost power. It's not an issue of losing power. They have lost power. It's the hands and the unseen control behind the Democrats and Republicans that are running the show. But one group has lost total power, bottom line. And what you do in a situation like that, they have chose to take you with them mentally, physically, and spiritually. My great virus, there is no greater virus than fear. Let that marinate. No greater virus than fear. But remember, my great Viber, you still have a chance to come out of this, and you will. But you have to have no fear. Because as soon as they take this virus away in the news media, say, oh, it's not here no more, or however they decide to play it, they're going to bring it back again and say, maybe they'll bring it back again. Oh, it's back again. So what do? Do you go back into the same state of fear and panic? My great Vibers, this virus is about dividing and conquering. When you see the different states, some want to open up, some don't. Bottom line, it's the last playbook. It's the ultimate mind control, psyop, psychological operation, they want to call it. First, no virus or no flu can penetrate you if you're taking care of yourself as far as taking the right supplements. Now, if you haven't noticed, they're putting out a lot of D3 commercials. They're disclosing things to you. Vitamin D3 commercials, you're starting to see them pop up now. That's part of disclosure. You have to pay attention. There is a universal law to how these things go down. It's people bigger than them behind the scenes. And there is something called the universal law. And right now, a lot of these people have violated that universal law. They don't want to go down alone. They don't want to pay the price. They've lost power. But what you have to understand that the future is ours. The future is ours, my great Vibers, for the taking. And I'm taking it. First, 2 Timothy 1-7 tells you, let us know, for God has not given us the spirit of fear. 2 Timothy 1-7. Let us know, for God has not given us the spirit of fear. The Bible said it, I didn't. The Bible, when I read it, I study it in a sense where it's a book about our spiritual and psychological well-being and the things we've been through, with some physicality included. And that book has messages. And one of those messages I just read to you. God does not want us to have a spirit of fear. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I've been in the Baptist lifestyle in my early years, up 20s, 30s. I've been a part of the Muslim lifestyle, studied Islam, was a part of that. And then things clicked as I grew. And my thing is, one thing I understand, there is no greater virus than fear. We can't have fear. We can't live our lives in fear, my great Vibers. You have to stay away from fear. You have to stay away from fear. You cannot allow anyone to control your free will, whether it's people on TV or whether it's the person laying next to you, family or anybody. Be your own person. But by all means, take this situation seriously, take precautions, protect you, protect your family. But remember, there is no greater virus than fear. And look at what's really happening. Look at it with 2020 vision, with new eyes, because there is things going on that, a lot of us may not even be ready to understand or deal with. But one thing you can't allow, because nobody's better than nobody. Nobody's smarter than nobody. It's about your life, your perceptions, what you've been through. But do not let media control you, politicians control you, and instill fear in you. Because there is no greater virus than fear. God said it. The Bible said it. We are not supposed to have the spirit of fear in us. That's why it's placed in us, because it keeps you at a lower vibration where you can't think properly. You can't reason properly. And that's something we want to do. We want to be able to have joy, love, reason, neutrality. Those are the things that we want. It's not about Republican, Democrat. It's about your sanity. It's about your mind. It's about you being able to keep yourself safe, your family safe. So with that, my great vibers, I just like to say, there is no greater virus than fear. The future is ours. And have no fear. Have no fear. With that, I would just like to say, peace, 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 my great vibers. And through all of this, keep your head up. Just eat healthier. Get out there and research supplements to keep your immune system built up. Because a lot of this is based on just keeping your body right. I can't remember the last time I went to a doctor about a cold. It's been way over 3 years. I do take different supplements. Vitamin D3, been taking it for 2 years now. Chlorella spirulina. It's just so many things out there that will keep your system clean, keep you right, and keep you shielded from some of this stuff. And it's not about conspiracy theories. What's happening out here is happening. It's just about what perspective you put it in. What perspective you put it in. Because if they announced every year the flu came out, 60,000 people died, and they hyped it up like this, we would go through this every year. My great virus is definitely a bigger playbook on the horizon. More things may happen. Now we got the hornet killer bees here. It's one thing after another. So I just encourage you, please stay focused, take care of your family, enjoy this, because we might be back in a situation again in the fall. So think of positive quality things to do to keep your mind right, to stay focused, and just think like, wow, it's bigger than them. This life that you have that's in you, it's bigger than the news. It's bigger than presidents. It's bigger than politicians. You can't let anyone instill fear in you, because there is no greater virus than fear, because you see what it's doing to a lot of people out there today. And you got to ask yourself, when they tell us it's okay, we're going to be like, okay. And then when they say, oh, it's back, we're going to be like, oh my goodness, mask again. People, please wake up, pay attention to what's happening. All right? Thank you. This is your guy, Barry, aka Barry Ishmael. Peace.